Welcome to the Bill Spadea Show on demand. Don't forget to subscribe and follow the show so you'll never miss a minute. New Jersey 101.5.
Bill Spadea is compensated for commercial and nonprofit appearances.
6:08 on New Jersey 101.5. Good morning. I am Bill Spadea with you till 10 o'clock this morning. Talking Jersey, taking your calls. 1-800-283-101.5. I want to thank Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook app for sponsoring New Jersey Chime Time every morning, every hour on the show. Damn, what a nice morning.
Nice morning, right?
Awesome. I mean, it was almost crisp.
This is not an image of what the rest of the day will look like, unfortunately. But,
really?
Soak it in while it lasts. It is going to rain at least a little bit. Today is not a washout. I've actually bumped up our high temperature expectation to around 70 degrees, which is
not
nice.
bad.
So if you can catch some dry weather, especially this morning, then you'll do just fine today.
The last night was perfect.
Nice summer-like evening?
Well, the humidity was low. It felt low.
The humidity
right?
did drop last night.
It was windy, but we sat outside. We ate outside.
Very nice.
Yeah, I loved it. So what can we expect now? Not a washout, but rain.
Right. Showers and thunderstorms midday into this afternoon. Technically, there's a severe weather threat along the southern edge of New Jersey. I don't really see it coming to pass just because we don't have all the ingredients coming together for that. So there could be a little downpour, maybe a gust of wind somewhere. Let's keep that in the back of our mind, but it's not going to be a big, bad, widespread thing. Tomorrow is going to stink. Tomorrow is not a nice day at all.
Too bad.
It's going to be drizzly and showery and cloudy and cool. I mean, we'll barely hit 50 degrees tomorrow. It's going to be like a raw, damp mid-March kind of day.
Yeah. What about Saturday? What do you think for the rally?
Saturday is probably the nicest day of the bunch. I think we're going to get some partial sunshine. I have added a slight chance of a late day shower. I'm not convinced whether or not it's going to happen, but it's worth mentioning.
Yeah.
The better chance for rain this weekend is going to come Sunday morning. That's Mother's Day morning.
Okay.
Starts a little bit wet, but then hopefully will dry out in the afternoon.
Okay. Thank you, Dan.
Yep.
Morning, Eric.
Morning.
So the political ads are back.
Here they come.
It was funny. I walked in. I'm standing out there, and 'tis the season. Yes, I love it. Spend money. Spend your money.
Yeah.
And I could see our board op Kathy's face, realizing that was an attack ad on me.
Yeah, on your show, which I love. That's awesome.
Don't you love that?
I do.
I love that too. I think that is great. I have some advice for them. I think you got to let some of those quotes breathe a little, maybe a little context for the listener. But I'm sure they did not want any of my quotes in context. That would certainly defeat their purpose of attacking me. So this weekend was funny. You said chance of rain, no umbrellas.
No umbrellas.
But there were people, Eric, starting last night.
I know. They're already headed. Yeah. Yep.
There are people like in their trucks, in their RVs, and they're camped out.
Yeah, Wildwood was smart. They turned the parking meters on.
Brilliant. Of course. It's revenue.
Yeah, they'll get a week's worth.
So
of
I'll be there Saturday morning.
Now, are you going to the actual because you're doing your podcast from?
I'm doing the podcast live.
Live.
Yeah, we're gonna go live from 12 to 2, and then I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go in and see. I've got I've got passes to go in, so I'm gonna go in and check it out, and I'll stay. I'm gonna stay for the speech. I think it's gonna be interesting. Now, the funny thing about these ads, interesting timing, because President Trump will. I'll be talking to him tonight, and we'll air that interview, that conversation tomorrow during the show.
Awesome.
So he's back on the air, back on New Jersey 101.5.
Yeah,
you gotta love it.
It's I don't know how many people are going to show up at this rally. I mean, thousands certainly, but I mean, tens of thousands potentially.
What did they have last time in Wildwood? 40,000, I think.
I want to say it was 30 or 40,000.
Yeah,
they typically overcount on a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I heard they were limiting it though to 20,000 on the beach.
That may be
most of the crowd will be outside.
Right, there may be more people outside than inside.
Yeah.
And that's, there'll be huge crowd control. But seriously, anybody who is thinking about going to that rally, or if you're heading there now or you're going down this weekend, Dan Alexander put together a great survival guide. Everything from parking to when they're allowing you on the beach to, traffic issues down there, the list of prohibited items. I mean, everything from, fireworks makes a lot of sense. Umbrella's a little curious. No coolers inside the event. Now there's tailgating that's going to be going on.
I was going to say,
all weekend.
I've got my drums, cooler. I'm bringing it all. We got it all for the show.
No vuvuzela. You can't bring that in there. But it's big. It's Secret Service. He is a former president, and he is the presumptive Republican nominee. So he is entitled to Secret Service protection, and they set the rules for what you can and cannot do there. It's going to be,
which is why we're set up a block and a half away from the entrance, because they clear that block.
All of them, you'll still hear all.
Well, we're going to set it up so it's behind me, so that our viewers, the live viewers, can get a view. And then if you are going to be watching us live, 12 to 2, Common Ground, you can go to nj1015.com/Bill Spadea. Click it there. You can also go on the New Jersey 101.5 app. And I understand it will carry on our Facebook page. I think we're going to be live on Facebook as
Facebook
well.
Live, okay.
Yeah, so that'll be 12 to 2. But then what I'm going to do, Eric, is I've got the portable mics and we've got our portable cameras. We're going to take the crew inside. So they've cleared our guys to go inside and film like from what's going to happen on the stage, and just so people get an idea. If you're not going to wait in line, we will bring it to you.
I think it's really cool. I mean, I take no stance politically on any of this stuff, but the spectacle of a rally like this is really something to behold. Yeah. And there will be plenty of counter protests and demonstrations that'll be going on there as well. I mean, and New Jersey has been the site of a lot of these types of rallies for presidential candidates and presidents all through history, even going back to FDR. Yeah. And I can remember a huge rally in Monmouth County when Ross Perot was running. It was at
you remember that?
Yeah. I
mean, 92.
I was at that rally.
No kidding.
That in and itself was a spectacle. And anybody that's ever been on the convention floor at a political convention, it really is an experience when you see that level of granular engagement by supporters and even detractors of a particular candidate.
Well, and there's, love him or not, Donald Trump draws a crowd like no other. And it's, this will be an amazing rally, the energy. Plus, we've talked about this, the Emerson poll has this a single-digit race in New Jersey.
Yeah, it's early yet. I'd like to see what the trends on that are going to be. That could be sample size. That could be,
exactly.
Because none of the other polls have it that close.
Yeah.
But the fact that there is one outlier suggests the race is tighter than probably most Democrats are comfortable with.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, this is blue New Jersey, and Republicans have an opportunity to be competitive. So you will hear directly from the 45th president. I'll be talking to Donald Trump tonight. And through the studio, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to capture that conversation that I'll have with the president tonight, and you will hear it tomorrow morning. I will air that interview at 6:30, after the 6:30 news tomorrow morning. Today, we're going to continue on this, what we've done all week, which is talking to some of the closest insiders that have the former president's ear to talk about just how competitive New Jersey has become. And then on the other side, I want to ask you about your first day on the job. Producer Kristen had an interesting story about her first day on the job here. The first day you had at your new job. 1-800-283-101.5, 617 Fast Traffic Instant Weather next.
Your daily dose of New Jersey on the go. Download the New Jersey 101.5 app. Enroll in alerts and dig into local stories, news, weather, and more. Your connection to everything Jersey.
622 on New Jersey 101.5. Good morning. I am Bill Spadea with you till 10 o'clock this morning. Talking Jersey, taking your calls, 1-800-283-101.5. So question for you. Some of you heard that ad that ran during the news. Do you really believe that I'm not an actual Trump supporter? I asked producer Kristen to look at that audio. So it was pretty funny, right? Producer Kristen, good morning.
Good morning.
So your face, Kathy's face, as the ad ran, and you heard the ad. So the ad attacks me because I use the word Trump and fail in the same sentence. And if you listen to how they cut it, they clearly took two different sentences and put them together.
Of course.
Number one, you can hear the cut. And two, they ignore the context of my reacting to a story when they said that what did they say? I compared Trump to Governor Murphy.
Yes.
I didn't even understand that attack.
Right. Well, that's why context is key.
Context matters.
And you're welcome, because I can find any piece of audio that you would like me to find.
So, hey, kitchen table conservatives, listen, just some advice. Really, what I would do next time, here's just my advice to you guys. You bought a 60-second ad. I would buy 2 minutes, because what you really should do is let the audio breathe a little bit. And the problem is that once you let it breathe, their context falls apart.
Right.
So here's what I actually said.
But we're never going to get a handle on it until we elect a governor who's going to be honest with you. A governor that's going to go in and do in Trenton what Trump should have done in the White House. You know, people give Trump a lot of credit for going after the deep state. The reality is he didn't. He failed. And I've said this over and over again. Now, forget about your position on Donald Trump now, but he failed. He kept all these scumbags in office, and then they turned on him. And that's why we're seeing the mess we're seeing now.
So there's the context. Failed, and I think maybe I'll even ask President Trump tonight when I talk to him.
Oh, that's
right. Oh, how about that? How about that? He's coming on the show. So he would agree that he failed and should have, in this context of firing Comey, firing Fauci, firing all these guys that turned on him. Bill Barr, think about the guys that turned on President Trump. So the reality of and the context of my comments, guys, wait for it. I was defending former President Trump, which is one of the reasons why Donald Trump will join me tonight, and I will have that interview brought to you on the air tomorrow. So context is key. So guys, here's a great lesson as you listen to political ads going forward. What these consultants try to do, and, you know, this kitchen table conservatives, these are a bunch of has-been folks. Oh, by the way, former Trump folks that were not invited back to the team this year. So there's a lot of bitterness out there. They're all Jack Ciattarelli guys, and what they're trying to do is pretend that Jack, who literally didn't vote for Trump, called him a charlatan, said he was unfit for office, went on a years-long attack on President Trump. They're trying to say, wait a minute, Spadea is not as pro-Trump as he claims. Here's what I claim, truth. Of course, I've supported President Trump since the primaries in 2016. And yes, guys, of course, I am eager to point out some facts. You know, just because you support somebody doesn't mean you shouldn't point out things when you see something, right? Should he have fired all those deep state scumbags? You're damn right he should have. And I'll bet he believes it today. Well, either way, I'll be talking to President Trump tonight, and you will hear that full conversation tomorrow on the air. All right, Mark, Tommy, I'll be right back. We're talking about taking things out of context to try to make somebody look bad. Nice try, kitchen table conservatives. Not this time. 627, Eric Scott with the news in 3 minutes. 637 on New Jersey 101.5. Good morning. I am Bill Spadea. Hey, I want to thank the disgruntled former has-been Trump staffers who got their heads together and formed a group called Kitchen Table Conservatives to support their buddy, Trump hater, insider, Jack Ciattarelli, because they cobbled this ad together, and it's an attack on me. And as you heard earlier, the audio they used is completely out of context. No, I never compared President Trump to Phil Murphy. It's just absurd. Actually, producer Kristen found the audio, and what I was talking about was, you remember when that one guy, I think it was West Orange, he canceled Halloween, and it was one of those stupid things that came up where somebody locally got out of control, and I started talking about the need for leadership and strength and decisive action and getting rid of bad people around you. And I talked about how President Trump did not fire all of the real bad actors in Washington who then turned on him. So they took my defense of President Trump out of context and ran an ad. Now, the good news is this Jack Chitterelli shill pack is spending money on my station. So, hey, guys, my staff thanks you. Let's go to Mark on the Turnpike. What's going on, Mark? Good morning.
You literally took the one thought out of my head when I was going to say, hey, they're paying your guys' paychecks, paying those ads. So that's a good thing.
Right?
But, but as somebody who's listened to you for years, I mean, and your listeners in the morning, on the way into work, I mean, it's pretty obvious where you stand. I wouldn't say you're like this rhino, but you're definitely a guy who's more on the conservative end with some moderate views, which is refreshing and nice. You're not like this die-hard right-winger, which doesn't help anybody that's on the extreme fringes. But, I think you relate more to the common man in New Jersey with common sense ideas and thoughts, and that's refreshing. And, I can't wait for you to run for governor so we can fix the state. And the only thing any of us that, support you and listen to you just hope that, you don't become a rhino yourself or, get these backdoor deals or under the table deals, which advance you, and then you just put the Jersey people.
No, I can promise you, Mark. I can promise you this: that look, I've said this. People ask me, why would you even consider leaving this incredibly successful media career where, in a few years I could be looking back and say, wow, I could be in a position to retire. And I said very simply, for me, it's personal. All these guys that get into politics, guys like Jack Chitterelli has literally been in politics since 1990. I mean, it's 34 years as a professional politician. And if your whole world is politics, you are absolutely susceptible. But, look, I'm a business guy. I started a film company. I've been working my whole life. I'm still a broker of record for Weicker Realtors. I'm involved in the state, and it's personal because we really, truly, Mark, want our kids to come back here. I love New Jersey for so many other reasons. And, when the thought started to cross my mind, it really started because I am different, right? I'm a common sense conservative. And you know what's interesting, Mark? That when I criticized constructive criticism on President Trump, some of the Trump folks got mad. They're like, oh, you can't say anything negative. I'm like, no. When you have an honest relationship with someone, you can say honest things and say, hey, if you get back in the White House, this is something I think that should be done differently. Man, if we can't even say things like that without being attacked, no wonder why people hate politics. That's why nobody votes.
And I agree completely, right? You're coming to him from the standpoint like you're a friend. You're a friend giving another friend advice. This is what you should do. You're not attacking him.
Right.
Jack Chitterelli, he has no platform. Go to his website and anything. He has no content. There's nothing on there explaining how he's going to fix anything. He's just a shill. And we need something done because Governor, look, I'm like you. I love New Jersey. I was born and raised here. My family's here. It's just getting too expensive. Murphy has ruined this. Everywhere you go, you're paying a tax for everything. We pay higher taxes than anywhere in the nation on so many things. We're heading like the routes of Cali, New York, Connecticut, all these states.
Yeah.
They have no problem giving free money away to people who come here illegally and put it on, the burden on the property owner, the taxpayer. And it's just frustrating because I would love to keep my family here, raise them here, but it's so expensive. You need to be in a dual income household making at least, $150,000, $200,000 a year to just live comfortably.
Mark, 100%. And even Ambassador Rick Grinnell yesterday, who came on the show, he talked about this. He said, people are ready. Democrats, independents, they're ready for common sense. That's what needs to make a comeback. I promise you this, Mark, a decision will be coming very, very soon. Stay tuned. But I will always keep the interests of regular New Jerseyans top of mind. Why? Because I'm one of the regular New Jerseyans. Have a great rest of your day, man. Appreciate you, Mark. Let's go to Tommy in Hunterdon County. What's going on, Tommy? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill. Good morning. How are you?
I'm great.
Bill, let's let's just cut to the chase. Jack Ciattarelli has a 30-year resume of failure. And there's three things that come to mind: tone deaf, desperation, and fear. They have no clue, no finger on the pulse of what's happening in New Jersey. They're desperate. They're fearful because you have riled up New Jerseyans with common sense and have brought the issues that we've been struggling with to the forefront. And don't forget about Bob Hewkin, the Rhino Republican leader of this mess. We need big change. We need people to step up, and they're worried, Bill. They're worried. That's what I see in that ad.
Well, can you imagine, though, putting things out of context? I mean, it's an outright lie to say that I compared Trump to Murphy. I mean, it's just an outright lie. You know what's really funny about it, Tommy? When President Trump first came on the radio show, I had him on a couple years ago, and he actually had some nice things to say about Phil Murphy, if you remember, right? And a lot of people are like, oh, come on, how can he do that? Because Trump actually, despite all of the hate and the vitriol, is a leader. He's a reasonable guy. He had no issue saying some nice things about the governor because he wasn't running against him. It wasn't a adversarial position that he was in, and I had no issue with that. But the ads, they take things out of context because that's all they have. The funny thing is, I will be talking to President Trump tonight, and we're going to put that conversation. We're going to record it and have that for everyone tomorrow morning after the 6:30 news. So stay tuned for that. Tommy, thank you.
I'm interested in that. That's going to be great. And remember, Ciattarelli ran a campaign denying the attributes that New Jerseyans love about Trump.
Oh,
he was never on the Trump train.
He
ever,
refused to vote
for him. He made it a point. Exactly. So he's just a hypocrite and a sign of desperation. But Bill, just keep doing it. The enthusiasm and the issues that you are stirring up in New Jersey, it's resonating.
I think
and it's
so,
going to
too.
happen, and it's going to happen. Good things are going to happen.
Yep, I think so too, Tommy. Hey, man, appreciate you. Thank you, Tommy. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon. Mark, Sean, I'll be back 6:45. Fast Traffic Instant Weather next.
Your phone, your radio. It's that simple. Download the New Jersey 101.5 app for an on-the-go listening experience. Thanks to our Listen Live sponsor, Guaranteed Service, New Jersey's premier plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical service provider.
6:52 on New Jersey 101.5. Good morning. I am Bill Spadea. With you until 10 o'clock this morning, Talking Jersey, taking your calls, 1-800-283-101.5. So, new attack ads, taking some of my quotes out of context. Producer Kristen, I am impressed. That you pulled that one clip that they had.
Yes.
What was the one that said Trump shouldn't be on the ballot?
Oh, yeah.
That was the one, right?
That's the one. That's back. You said that back
More
in
than 2 years ago.
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said it in context of saying it would be great to see a shakeup in the Republican Party. We need to have new blood coming in. It was all positive. It was not an attack on Trump. It was at a time when we weren't sure what was going on, and I was calling for new blood in response, actually, to a caller,
right,
who had asked.
Correct.
And I think that's really the key. It's a shame that politics devolves into the kind of nastiness where you can take things wildly out of context. But I can't imagine anybody who's been listening to me I've been on the air 9 years, that would listen to that ad and say, oh, yeah, that's right. Spadea thinks Trump is like Murphy. What a silly line. Let's go to Sean and Kinnelon. What's going on, Sean?
Hey, good morning, Bill.
Morning. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Yeah, it's amazing when they go and piece something together like that. It's really it's like Money in the Bank. You should run bumper music when you come back from that. Pink Floyd, Money. You know?
I love it.
It's like Money in the Bank.
I do love it. I love that they're spending money on my show. Like you got to figure, right? That is the ultimate. But it is a shame though, Sean, that things can be taken so out of context. And I have to tell you, though, when you meet, and you know this, there we go.
There it is.
Right? There we go.
Yep.
Thank you, Kitchen Table Conservatives. Your money's good here. I love it. And you know what's great? They're only advertising on my show. That's what's so funny about it.
Well,
so we'll take it.
Living rent free in their heads, and it's another thing. Of how successful you've been the last 2 years, going tip to tip in the state and just meeting regular people, the moms and pops, the small business, the hair salons. From tip to tip, you've been working it. That just goes to show they really have no central focus of a campaign for the future. You know?
No, I think they're legitimately afraid, Sean. They're right, because when's the last time you had a common sense populist person with a following, like, and I mean, my God, our organization is bigger than the state GOP. I mean, we're raising more money. They don't even have an office. I mean, it's embarrassing. And I think, and I've said this before, what are they really afraid of? What they're really afraid of are the people that we've been meeting. I mean, Jody and I have met tens of thousands of people over the course of the last couple of years. They're afraid. They don't want regular people to have a say. They want to keep it inside the elite cabal and keep the average person out of the conversation. And this show, is a great example, elevates the average person. Like, you get a voice.
Yeah, your show is really the anti-uniparty. Because realistically, the NJGOP and the Democratic Party, what's the difference at some point?
Well, and Sean, it's why, despite all the noise, President Trump is coming on the show again.
Exactly.
Like, there's all you really need to know, right? We had all of the top guys that have his ear on the show this week, and then he and I are talking tonight, and then I'll air that tomorrow. But anyway, thank you, Sean. It's always good to hear from you, brother. Be well. Yeah,
thanks for coming up Tuesday night.
Absolutely. You let Wayne know too, and your two candidates for sure. I want to have them on the air, but let Wayne know whatever else I can do to raise money for the VFW. I'm in.
We appreciate it.
All right, man. Talk soon. Mary, Mark, I'll be back 6:56. Eric Scott with your news in 3.5 minutes.
Got something to say? Dial 800-283-1015. Join the conversation on New Jersey 101.5.
7:10 on New Jersey 101.5. I am Bill Spadea. I want to thank Parks Casino and Sportsbook for sponsoring New Jersey Chime Time every morning, every hour on the show. Now, if you were up early this morning and you heard Eric Scott's news at 6 o'clock, you would have heard the latest attack ad against your morning host. That's me. And it's interesting because producer Kristen did a good job pulling out all of the full clips. They use these out of context sound bites to try to make it like I'm anti-Trump. And of course, forgetting even having to hear the context, you guys know me. And the reality is that anyone who is able to analyze policy, be critical of policy, yet still support President Trump, that's the kind of support you need. You want critical thinkers. You want a conversation about policy. And, the haters out there that hate me, they don't want that. They hate this show. They hate the common sense movement because they hate the fact that we are empowering regular, average New Jerseyans. Let's go to Ian in Millstone. Morning, Ian.
Good morning, Bill.
How are you?
I find good, excellent yourself.
Good, I'm doing great.
Hysterical that it calls in this questioning about whether to put this on your radio show, knowing that you're going to pick it apart and completely make them look silly about it.
Right.
So I wouldn't want anybody like that running a state that couldn't make a simple decision about how he's going to get attacked by this and look silly. So
it's a good point, Ian. You know what it was, and they concocted this yesterday. They panicked. They've got a couple of has-beens who are former Trump advisors who are not on the current campaign. They cobbled together this kitchen table conservatives. And it's consultants making money, guys like Larry Weitzner out there who's trying to be relevant, and he hasn't been relevant since, 10, 15 years ago. And what they do is they make money because they panicked this week in particular because we had a string of Trump insiders, like actual people that have the president's ear, coming on the show. And why? Well, I wanted to promote the rally on Saturday. So instead of understanding that, hey, this is probably good. I mean, if you listen to the ad, right, that you would think that it would be from people who are pro-Trump saying, that Spadea guy is not Trump enough. You know, of course, if you go back to the attack ads and the mailers they were doing 6 months ago, 6 months ago I was too pro-Trump. Now I'm not Trump enough. They don't know what they're doing. Silly, right? But you would think that the last thing you would do is attack the number one show in the state with the biggest audience if you truly want to help the former president, right? Silly.
Especially knowing that you're going to pick it apart.
Of course.
They know it's out of context.
Well,
So,
I'm going to give you some of the context, Ian, and I'm going to play it in a second. Thanks for calling. I appreciate your call, and yeah, I think it's kind of funny too. Everybody hang in there. I got to play this. Producer Kristen found the context for, Producer Kristen, what was the comment that I made? This was the Trump failed. I wrote an article.
Yes, you wrote an article for the 3 reasons why.
That's right. So here's the context of the quote that they used in their ad, and you tell me what you think.
I lost family members over this.
Well, that's Trump's. Wait, whoa. That's Donald Trump's fault that you lost family members. Oh, that doesn't make sense.
I don't say it's Donald Trump's fault. It's just the reality of the situation. Families no longer talk to each other over this. He's a knucklehead.
Yeah, but
he's a complete
but
knucklehead.
Neil,
you listen to him speak, Bill. You know how he speaks.
Yeah, but look,
He's an intelligent human being.
I've been critical of Donald Trump from a policy standpoint for years. I mean, I wrote the article that literally the title was "The 3 Reasons Why Trump's Presidency Failed." I've been very critical of the policy end because I think he should have gone further. I think he should have fired Fauci. I would have fired Fauci on May 1st in 2020. We knew what COVID was all about. And there you go. Context is king. I think even Donald Trump would agree. And you know what? I'll be talking to him tonight, so I can just ask him. All right, let's go to Jen in Middletown. Morning, Jen. How are you?
Good morning, Bill Spadea. How are you?
I am doing great. Boy, I haven't heard from you in a while. How you been?
I know. I'm fantastic.
Good.
I am so amazed at the fact that Jack decided to contact your business and put an ad out there. That speaks volumes, right? It speaks volumes to me as a voter. First of all, for me, I am a one-issue voter, and for me, medical freedom is 100% down the line for me.
Yeah.
And Jack is not the man for that, right?
No, definitely
medical
not.
freedom person that saw his photo with his picture, with his mask on, rolling up his sleeve, saying he got his COVID shot, is anyone that any medical freedom person is going to logically vote for.
You know, Jen, because by the time that he was posing for those pictures, he was pandering for votes, and we already knew at that point there were so many adverse effects. We were already in the throes of the battle saying, guys, you can't mandate this stuff on children. And that was right around the time when Chitterelli refused. Remember when he refused to stand with the firefighters in Newark? I mean, literally refused. Yeah.
He was supposed to show up for the Newark firefighters.
Didn't show up. Now, to be fair, I don't think this is this kitchen table conservatives. It's not Jack directly, but these are all Jack's supporters, the consultants and all the has-beens, and it's like they threw the trash out and the trash is reformed to come and come after me. And you think they'd be smarter than that? But hey, look, Jen, I'm going to take their money. We love it.
That's fantastic,
right?
And you're living in their head rent-free.
I know. It's
actually a compliment. It's a compliment because they are scared to death of you.
Yeah. Well, they're scared of you, Jen. They're scared of the people that we've given a microphone to. And the only thing better than living rent-free in someone's head is when they pay you to occupy that space.
I guess that's true. It's not rent-free anymore.
Jen, I got to jump. Always good to hear from you. Take care. Thanks. Mary, Mark, I'll be right back. I'll go to you guys first on the other side. 7:16, Fast Traffic Instant Weather next.
What do you think? We want to know. Dial 800-283-1015. Join the conversation on New Jersey 101.5.
Zero.
723 on New Jersey 101.5. I want to take this time to thank all of our advertisers. The money you spend is well spent. Largest audience in the state. High ratings. Double-digit market share in many areas. I especially want to thank the haters out there because we've now moved from rent-free in your head to you're paying us. It's a pretty good deal. So thank you. All right. Of course, I'm referencing the ad that thankfully producer Kristen has added some context to. And they are coming at me, this group called Kitchen Table Conservatives, run by a bunch of has-beens, former Trumpers, and just people for hire. And they're all in the Jack Ciattarelli camp. And, you know, it's funny because we welcome all of their money. And the good news is they're running the ad through the weekend. So, guys, my advice is I'm going to have some more pro-Trump insiders on the show Monday. So just give the station a call if you guys want to extend the ad run into next week. I would. I mean, look, I'm only speaking to say what I would do. I don't want to pretend that I know what your budget is. Maybe you don't have the money to run it on Monday. I don't know. You only ran it for 3 days. But I would suggest you continue this ad definitely into next week. I mean, I would go further than that. But also find some clips. I'm sure I got something that I said that would make a good ad in the last few weeks. No, I think so. 725. Let's go to Mary in Freehold. Morning, Mary. How are you?
Hi, Bill. How are you?
Doing great.
I just wanted to say, this whole thing is ridiculous. I don't normally call in, but this just is beyond the pale.
You mean the attack ad, the ad attacking me? Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Listen, I've gotten to know you. I wouldn't be with you if you weren't a Trump supporter. I would not be supporting you. On the other hand, Jack, let me tell you a little bit about him. Kitchen table conservatives as well. Maybe they're not aware of this, but if you're talking about what goes on in the home, one thing that really matters to us, what that last caller was calling in, or not, maybe it wasn't the last one, but about medical freedom.
Yeah.
Jack was nowhere to be found.
I know.
And he's very disrespectful to women. I tried with my young daughter, her first time voting. She didn't want anything to do with him. We were up at Rutgers. And I said, you know what? You have to listen to all the candidates. I'm trying to get her to be civic-minded, give everyone a chance. We go up, we speak with him. I'm speaking, trying to ask him basically, where do you stand? This is a really important issue. The day prior, I had taken off of work. So that's 2 in a row, 2 days down in Trenton. He wasn't there. All I wanted to do was ask him, where were you? We kind of could use the support.
What did he say?
You know what he did? He cut me off and he said, are you done yet?
Wow.
And I had a lump in my throat. I turned around after we were done and I turned and looked at my daughter. I said, did you hear that? And she said, I did. Now, let me just say this. I'll wrap this up by saying I still voted for him. My daughter, that was a bit of a struggle, but she also voted for him.
Yeah.
We held our nose. We did what we were told to do. That's it. Never again.
Yeah. Well, Mary, look, I have to tell you something. You know how much Jody and I appreciate you and Mark, and thank you for calling and thank you for saying this. And you know, I didn't know that story about Jack. I'm not surprised. He's not a nice guy if he doesn't look at you as equal or above him. If you can't do anything for him, he has no reason to treat you with respect. And that's a sad mark on someone's character who wants to be the governor of this great state. You know, you've got to earn it, and you've got to make sure that you are respecting all people, whether you agree or disagree. And Jack just doesn't have it. He's not cut that way. So, Mary, thank you. I appreciate your call. And all I'll say to wrap this up on the attack ad: keep them coming, guys. Keep them coming. 1-800-283-101.5 is the number. 7:27 is the time. Eric Scott with the news in 2.5 minutes. 7:38 on New Jersey 101.5. Good morning. Hey, Frank, Mark, hang in there. We're going to get back to this conversation about how the haters are now paying to advertise on my show, which is really great. But Eric, we were just delivered. Zach, the intern, makes brisket. Now, this was slow cooked overnight, and he is eager to get our feedback.
Well, it's got a really good color to it.
I do like the color. Now, I've got an end piece here, so I have a little bit of fat. I'm also trying it with the homemade
I'm going to try it alone
barbecue
before
sauce.
I try the barbecue sauce. Let's see what we got here.
Great texture. The fat melts in your mouth. I think it's great. Zach, nice job. What do you think?
Thank you. Thank you.
Now tell me, how long did you cook this?
This was about a 16-hour job. So
Really?
This was all of yesterday.
It's a big piece of brisket. What do you think?
Very good flavor. It's very moist.
The sauce is not too sweet either.
And it is not overly smoked.
Agreed.
Sometimes when you do a smoked brisket,
yep.
See the little red crust around the outside of it? That's the smoked flavor on that.
Good smokering. I like it.
You use pellets or wood?
Yeah,
Wow, this is really
I'm
good.
using a pellet smoker.
And this was applewood?
Actually, it was competition blend, so it's just a blend of a bunch of different woods.
I do taste the apple in there, though. But that's really, really good. Very moist, very tender.
Do you like the sauce? Did you try the sauce?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of the sauce, but I'm also not a fan of barbecue sauce in general.
Yeah, okay.
This tastes like it has a lot of ketchup in it. Is it a ketchup-based barbecue
sauce? Yeah.
Yep, you're out. That's it. Producer Kristen just all mad.
But
You
that's
just ruined
not-
your day.
But look, a brisket should stand on its own. It shouldn't need
Yeah,
any
I
sauce.
agree.
And
My first bite was the fat and the end beef, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Very tender. Very tender.
And you didn't
very
dry it
tasty.
out reheating it.
No.
No, I imagine when it first came out, it was probably even more moist than this, right? Yeah,
jiggling.
Yep.
So
Excellent.
it cooks 16 hours?
Yeah, 16 hours.
How do you do your brisket? Do you smoke it? Eric,
Are you asking me?
Yeah, do you smoke
I do. Yeah, I do. It depends. I'll do usually a combination. So I'll do a grill for a sear and then a smoke. But I usually do that to keep the smoke flavor lower in the meat, and also to keep it moist. I will admit I don't have a great smoker.
Yeah,
I would. That is next on my outdoor kitchen addition is to get a good smoker.
So this was only smoked?
Yeah.
So it
only
goes in
smoked.
raw?
Yeah, it goes in completely raw. Now, Eric, I got to ask you, how do you season your brisket? Because a lot of people, they're purists with that, like the pepper crust, get that nice black Texas style. I don't do that.
I like the pepper, so I'll use fresh cracked pepper on the outside, but then salt, pepper, smoked paprika, and actually I put a little bit of dill in there as well, and then the cracked pepper crust over the top of it.
Some dill.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Try
Dill
dill.
sounds great.
Dill on meat, it adds a different flavor, and then because it will actually, as it cooks, you don't really taste the dill flavor, but it actually brings a little sweetness to the meat as it cooks.
Zach, what'd you use on this?
Salt, pepper, garlic, paprika, chili powder.
Garlic powder.
Yeah. No, I'm not using cloves of garlic powder, and that's all.
Chili powder?
Little bit of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
But
There's not a lot of
nothing
heat.
about it that
I don't
is
have any heat
overpowering about this.
Yeah.
And that's why I like it, is that it has very subtle flavoring through the entire piece of brisket.
Yeah.
And you're not getting one thing that is like punching you in the mouth. You actually can enjoy the meat.
It's also not falling apart, which means you could use this in a sandwich, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I think this would be good in a sandwich. Maybe with some pickles.
Another reason I need a deli slicer.
Right? Why don't you have a deli slicer that we could bring in and cut the brisket?
I still don't have a deli
right?
slicer.
Like, I'm thinking you could serve this with a ground mustard.
Oh, that would be delicious.
With pickles. What do you think of
like
that?
a stone ground spicy mustard?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be good.
All right.
That would be good.
Zach, you got any pickles on hand or no? We're
I have no
any
pickles
mustard
on hand,
or
no
mustard.
buns on hand.
So
All
there's
right, next time.
There's the sandwich. It's the sliced brisket with the cracked spicy mustard.
Right.
A pickle on a crusty roll.
Yeah, I think you need something with some girth.
Yeah,
right?
on a crusty roll. Yep. And maybe even a piece of provolone.
Oh, I'd put cheese on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would even melt the provolone over it, like put it under the broiler for a little bit.
Yeah. And then if there was
Anyway.
any little bits left, that just became brisket hash for the next.
So I'm thinking, I think this gets an A. Nice job.
Yeah, I'll give it an A.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
nice job,
Absolutely.
Zach.
Yep, very good.
All right.
Excellent, Zach.
What was I even talking about? I don't know. I know. I was talking about the hate ads that are coming at us. But let's see. It's 7:43. I'm not sure if I have time. Let me ask our board op Kathy, because it says, oh, God, we have plenty of time. Let's jump in. Let's talk to Mark in Old Bridge. What's going on, Mark?
How you doing, Bill? The brisket tasting had far more impact on me than that pathetic ad by the kitchen table con artist.
Oh, I like that. Kitchen table con artist. That's pretty good. What do you think? Isn't it amazing how they could take it so out of context? Don't they know that I'll be able to play the entire clip to eliminate confusion?
Those consultants should be fired for running an ad where you can respond immediately to it.
Right?
But, here's the thing. They've spent more money attacking you as opposed to helping Republican candidates, which is all you need to know about Jack and his gang, right? Listen, one thing that Trump is against is illegal immigration, and Jack supports Phil Murphy's immigration policy.
That's right.
Driver's licenses.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Listen, he's not going to con the Trump supporters out there. Everybody knows that him and Bramnick, they're weak, and they're, it's like Dawn of the Dead, the GOP, pretty much.
And it's a shame, isn't it, Mark? Like, I was thinking about this and talking to our guys last night, and I'm like, think about that they are so desperate to curry favor with Donald Trump that they think the way to do it is to attack me and try to take a couple of quotes out of context to pretend that I'm not a Trump supporter. And what is ridiculous about it is I've been a Trump supporter since the primary of 2016, but beyond that, instead of saying, hey, why don't we all come together, because it's not about 2025, it's about 2024, and literally Donald Trump is going to be here on Saturday.
I agree. Listen, they should be running ads encouraging people to vote early, vote by mail.
Yeah.
Those things need to be addressed.
Right. Well,
constantly showing no unity is not helping anyone.
Right. How about they call the show? If Jack really supports Trump, he should call the show and explain why he didn't vote for him in 2016. Explain why he supports licenses for illegals. Explain why he has called Trump unfit for office and a charlatan, right? But he has no guts, no courage, no guts. And I think that some of the callers you heard, one young woman who called earlier and just said that Jack really just treats people in such a disrespectful way that it's unfortunate. There's no call for that. But anyway, Mark, we're at least going to have a little fun while they're paying the bills. So there we go. Mark, have a great one. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Mark. I'll see you Saturday. Take care. Frank, I'll go to you first after traffic and weather next, 7:45.
Stay in the know with New Jersey 101.5 News. Get your Jersey news instantly by downloading our app. Listen on demand wherever you want, bringing the latest newscast right to your fingertips.
7:52 on New Jersey 101.5. I want to thank Zach, the intern. Fantastic brisket. That's the way to start a morning. I want to thank Kitchen Table Conservatives for spending your hate dollars on my show. The only thing better than living rent-free in someone's head is to have them pay you for the privilege. So right now I'm being attacked for being not Trump enough. If you remember, the loser chairman of the Republican Party spent $400,000 attacking me as being too Trump in November 2023. So here we are at 6 months. I have gone from too Trump to not Trump enough. Now, the funny thing is, it's all as a lead up to Saturday, and President Trump will be in town. I just want to play this real quick for you. He and I are speaking tonight, and I'm going to play the interview for you tomorrow on the show. And it's going to be a great conversation about New Jersey being in play and everything else. But this is just a quick throwback to when Donald Trump was on my show a couple of years ago.
I am really proud and honored to introduce you to the President of the United States. Mr. President, welcome to New Jersey 101.5.
Hi, Bill. Well, I'm proud to be on your show. You do a great show, and I know your show from long before this, before what I've done with the presidency, so it's great to be on your show.
I appreciate you, appreciate your courage, appreciate your patriotism. Thank you for having strength through this entire crisis.
Well, Bill, thank you. I almost don't have a choice. I have to have strength. If I don't have strength, we're all in trouble. But Bill, I really appreciate it, and you do have a great show, and I've listened many times.
Thank you.
Words of wisdom, and we appreciate it very much, Bill.
7:55. That was President Trump from the last time he came on, and we'll be talking tonight, and I'll have that interview for you tomorrow. All right. On the other side, Frank, I know you want to weigh in on one of the leading Democrats out there running for governor, Steve Fulop, mayor of Jersey City. I'll be interested to hear your take on Steve Fulop. We'll do that after the news. It is 7:55. Eric Scott with your news in 4.5 minutes.
New Jersey 101.5 is available on smart speakers. Listen at home by saying, play New Jersey 101.5.
A10 on New Jersey 101.5. Good morning. I am Bill Spadea. I want to thank Bet Parks Casino and Sportsbook for sponsoring New Jersey Chime Time every morning, every hour on the show. I want to thank our many great advertisers. As you know, your money is well spent on this station and this show, largest audience in the state, and a committed audience, an audience of folks that really get to know our hosts and programming, and it is a great family atmosphere. And, you know, when you're talking to more than 1 million people, that's it's saying something, a station like this that can have that kind of reach. I also want to thank my haters out there, in particular, Kitchen Table Conservatives. Thank you very much for your ad buy this week. We appreciate you. I did have to point out how out of context the quotes you took from me were, but, you know, I'm sure you had to expect that I was going to do that, right? Let's go to Charlene in South Jersey. What's going on, Charlene?
Hi, good morning, Bill. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
So I just find it amazing. Kitchen conservatives, far from conservatives, and the fact that they're hitting you about Trump is absolutely ridiculous.
Isn't it funny?
Right. It's so funny. I mean, we know where you stand.
Right.
You know, it's ridiculous. But I'll tell you, the one thing that amazes me is that they spend all this money against you, and yet they're letting the local candidates flounder.
Yep, that's
like
exactly
they
right.
could do better, right? They could do better things with their money. Nothing against you, because you know I think that you do a great job at getting the message out and everything. But see, most people see through this kitchen conservative.
I think so too, Charlene. And I think that if you're Jack Ciattarelli now, the last thing you want is a pack out there attacking a potential opponent of yours, when what all eyes should be on and all focus should be on is getting Trump reelected and supporting local commissioner candidates, mayor, the kind of thing that we've been doing now for 2 years with our Common Sense organization. I approached it as a positive. Jack and his cohorts approach only as a negative. But, that's the best you can. Look, when you don't have any ideas, when you've already lost twice, what else do you have except to try to tear down good people?
And do I really want somebody in office who doesn't handle their money the right way or do the right thing?
Right.
Because they're not out there. I mean, it's the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
And, with common sense, that's not the case. It's very supportive, and a lot of people know that, and it's a clear message.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Charlene. Wow. Thank you for the nice compliment, and I appreciate you weighing in on this. You have an awesome rest of your day. All right, let's go to Justin in Pennington. Morning, Justin.
Morning, Bill. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
I just heard this and I'm like, in the words of my late friend Casey Mears, who Eric Scott knows, these bunch of conservative people are just bloody pigeons for sure.
I don't know. What is the bloody pigeon reference?
It's like, just like Charity just throws their breadcrumbs out and they just make these ads, They just.
All right, Justin, I get it. Yeah, look. I'll say this. I think that they needed a little help. I actually, we've got some technical folks that I would offer kitchen table conservators because clearly they're not very professional. I'm a little surprised at Larry Weitzner and his team for producing an ad that has so many jump cuts in it that it's so obvious that they pieced together a couple of different comments that were unrelated to their message. But look, Justin, this is what people do when they're desperate. And you know what's funny to me? We'll take their money. I love it. Keep spending, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Exactly. All right, Justin, thank you, man. Appreciate your call. Let's go to Frank in Monroe. What's going on, Frank? Good morning.
Hey, Bill, how you doing? Thanks for taking my call. If you can indulge me, I'm sitting here, looking at my 2.5-year-old grandson. I babysit for him all week. And people don't realize how important these elections are. Not for us so much, but for our grandkids.
Agreed.
Just continuing. Listen, let me tell people about Bill Spadea. If you want to know the truth, talk to Bill, because he'll always look at you straight in the eye, answering your questions, never wavering. Unlike Jack, whose eyes are going all over the place when he's in a room. And that's not because he's scanning the room. That's because he can't tell you the truth twice. I had mentioned about Fulop to your...
Yeah. What did you want to say about Steve Fulop? I only got about 30 seconds. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Where is he going expecting to be governor when he's ripping apart the Democratic Party in the newspaper and at speaking engagements? Sacco runs North Hudson and Northern New Jersey. Where does he expect to go if he's trying to tear down...
Frank, I think Fulop is trying to paint himself as an outsider, but in reality, he is everything that an insider is. I think he is just exposing that the Democratic Party is in complete disarray. And the reality is, Frank, that is the Republican opportunity because most Democrats are not as radical as their leaders. So most average Democrats are, working folks like me and you. And they're going to look at a guy like Steve Fulop with his fancy house in Rhode Island and the fact that they undervalued all of those homes in Jersey City so that the tax burden was shifted on suburban working class taxpayers outside of Jersey City. They're going to look at Steve Fulop and say, this guy's not the right guy to be governor. But look, let the Democratic Party sort that out. We'll watch their mess unfold. As we unify the Republican Party under common sense. Thank you, Frank. Have a great rest of your day. 8:16, Fast Traffic Instant Weather next.
Your direct line to the studio, all in one app. Download now and use our New Jersey 101.5 in-app chat to connect with our hosts. Stay engaged, stay connected. Join the conversation.
It's 8:22 on New Jersey 101.5. Good morning. I am Bill Spadea. Hey, I want to switch gears for a minute and welcome back my friend Aura Dunn, who's a member of the Assembly in Morris County, representing Morristown, Mount Arlington, Randolph, Rockaway, Mendham, Boonton, Butler, Kinnelon, Jefferson, among others. She was she was testifying. Actually, I'm going to let her tell you the story, what happened yesterday. And then today she's headed to Trenton to talk about this outrage at Rutgers caving to the protesters' demands. Assemblywoman Aura Dunn. Good to talk to you, Aura. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good morning. Thanks for having me. And I love that you know all those towns.
Pretty good, huh?
Great civics. Yes, a great civics lesson. 19 towns, 300 square miles I cover, proudly serving District 25. And, yeah, I devote a lot of time in Trenton these days as a member of the Budget Committee.
So,
I head down now.
What happened yesterday? They tried to shut you down yesterday.
Well, yeah, and I know I'm on to some good stuff, right? Bringing truth to power. My first year on the Budget Committee, I'd hear the whispers, and they'd try to cut me off, and I'd say, oh, what am I doing? No, now I know I'm doing something right.
Yep.
Questioned the DEP commissioner about the electric vehicle mandate, literally said it was not a mandate, that no one is mandated to purchase a car.
I mean, how do you deal with it with a straight face? Yeah, right?
It takes a lot of inner fortitude, especially, this is a kid from Brooklyn in the end.
Yeah, exactly. So they tried to shut you down. They haven't been successful. The Trenton two-step is in full effect. They are just now trying to twist themselves into knots. because clearly they're trying to mandate one product over the other. But tell me quick, or what's happening today in the legislature as it pertains to what went on at Rutgers last week, where the university president, Johnny Holloway, caved to the protesters.
Yeah, we have all the presidents of the public universities coming to testify on their budget, the governor's budget request today. But we will be focusing on, this what occurred last week, and with the president to the 8 of the 10 terms that we don't even know who was in the room, who made these decisions, and the one that jumps off the page is granting amnesty to the protesters who were arrested.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing? Break the law. As long as you line up with their far left radical ideology, you get away with it.
I don't know what we're teaching. It's an institution of instruction and knowledge. Yeah. And what are we teaching the younger generation? Yeah. So hopefully we'll explore. I'm sure we'll be cut off because they'll be told that it's not germane to the hearing. But we're going to do our best to get the truth out.
Good. Well, thank you, Ara. You are, and congratulations. I know you're now the assistant minority whip, and I think it's fantastic that you're moving up into leadership roles, and you haven't been there that long. It just shows what courage and stamina and strength you've been showing on the floor. So we appreciate everything that you're doing on behalf of the rest of us.
Thank you. You have a great day, and I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, keep me posted for sure. We'll talk later. Thank you, Ara. That is Ara Dunn. If you want to get in touch with her and congratulate her on really talk about sticking it to this old boy network in Trenton that just wants to shut her down and act like, no, we're not trying to mandate this or that. We know what they're trying to do, and the absurdity of a military guy being arrested for hanging posters in favor of Israel. And now the university president is going to let all of these dirtbag Palestinian protesters off the hook for disrupting traffic, for intimidating Jewish students. I mean, come on, guys. Ara Dunn, her office is in Chester, 908-955-7228. And let her know that you appreciate her standing up for the rest of us. Speaking for normal. 8:27. Eric Scott with the news in 3 minutes. It's 8:38 on New Jersey 101.5. Good morning. I am Bill Spadea with you till 10 o'clock this morning. Talking Jersey, taking your calls. 1-800-283-101.5 is the number. President Trump on his way back to Jersey for an incredible event that's going to happen in Wildwood on Saturday. And as you've heard throughout the week, we've had a lot of folks that are that not only have the president's ear, but are in positions of strength and power within our government, pushing forward to say that we've got to right the ship and we've got to fix this country and get us back on the right track. Congressman Jason Smith from Missouri is certainly a rarity in politics. He's not some lawyer or Beltway insider. Nope, he's a normal. He's a working class guy who still runs the family farm back home in Missouri. Jason also happens to be one of President Trump's strongest allies. He's led the investigation into Joe and Hunter Biden, currently serves as the chairman of the powerful Ways and Means Committee in the House of Representatives. Congressman Jason Smith, welcome to New Jersey 101.5. How are you?
Doing well, Bill. It's great to be with you.
Great to have you on the show. Let's jump right in. I mean, you're the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. This is the most powerful committee in Congress. From your vantage point, what has Joe Biden's policies done to create this runaway inflation, the broken economy? Things are out of control, and it's breaking the backs of normal, everyday Americans when it comes to basics like food and fuel.
That's exactly right, Bill. You know, the Ways and Means Committee is the oldest committee in Congress that has sole jurisdiction over all tax authority, over all trade authority, so almost everything that affects the economy and also healthcare. What we have seen under President Biden's policies over the last 3.5 years has made it so difficult on every American just to put food on their table, clothes on their backs, or gasoline in their cars. We have seen inflation rise 19.4% since Joe Biden took the oath of office. When President Trump was in office, his last month in office was 1.4% inflationary rate. And you know what? The prior 10 months to that, it never increased more than 2%. So we did not have an inflationary problem until Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and Chuck Schumer decided to go on a spending spree, and they spent $10 trillion of new money, and that is what put the gasoline on an inflation fire.
Yeah, really amazing. Let's turn to the rally this weekend. President Trump going to be in Jersey, back in Wildwood, and like me, you've been a supporter of the president from day one. What do you think about the weaponization of the justice system? I mean, is this an outright attempt to defeat our party's nominee before he even gets out of the starting gate?
From the party who says that they're all about democracy, they're the ones that's removing Donald Trump from the ballot, where the American people don't even have the opportunity to vote for him, like in Colorado and Maine. We've seen it in other states. Thankfully, the Supreme Court spoke up in a unanimous decision saying that was a breach of authority. But, the American people are seeing Democrats' sham persecution of President Trump for what it is, a bogus attempt to use the justice system to just go after his political opponent. I mean, who would ever imagine that President Biden's Justice Department would be targeting his political opponent? Yeah. This happens in third world nations. It does not happen in the United States unless Joe Biden controls the Justice Department. That's why we need a house cleaning. That's why President Trump will win. I'm so glad he's going to be in New Jersey this coming Saturday. I think New Jersey could even be in play.
I think you're right. We had an Emerson poll come out a couple of weeks ago, had the race within 5 points. I mean, I think the message is resonating among normals who are, maybe they're registered Democrats today, but there's no way the Democratic Party represents average Americans anymore. They're so radical, so far gone with the border, et cetera. Real quick, got about a minute left. A lot of news about Joe and Hunter Biden abusing the offices of not just the presidency, but the vice presidency to enrich themselves and their family. Can you give our listeners a quick update on what your committee's uncovered and, why every American ought to be concerned about this?
Bill, it is quite disturbing. I set up an IRS whistleblower hotline because the Ways and Means Committee has oversight over the IRS, and I wanted any employee of the IRS to be able to contact me through the whistleblower to let us know of anything we should look at. I had 2 whistleblowers that came forward, and they showed such information where they had been investigating the Hunter Biden tax case for more than 5 years, and they documented how the Justice Department had delayed their investigation, how they had denied numerous requests to prosecute, and how they even divulged information to the Biden family to protect them. It is absolutely unconscionable. We're continuing to get evidence. Of course, the Biden administration is stonewalling us, but thankfully, we've had people come forward to speak the truth. We've undocumented over $30 million that has ran into the Biden family, Hunter Biden, from Romania, China, Ukraine, all these different entities. And it is absolutely unconscionable that this can be hacked.
Yeah, well, thank you for keeping holding their feet to the fire, keeping the fight, keeping the faith. We appreciate your leadership, Jason. Thank you, and I appreciate the conversation. You taking all the time to join us this morning, and I agree with you. I believe New Jersey is in play, and we are going to start to turn the tide and turn New Jersey red and get President Trump back in the White House where he belongs. Congressman, thank you.
Thank you, sir. We need it.
All right, you take care. That is Congressman Jason Smith, head of the powerful Ways and Means Committee in the House of Representatives. And as I said at the top, this is a normal guy, normal working class guy, runs a family farm in Missouri. I mean, this is what's happening in the country, and I wanted you to see a glimpse all week of what's happening, why there's a focus on New Jersey, why normal and average Democrats are saying, hey, whoa, my party's crazy right now. The open borders, the sexualizing of the school curriculum, all this stuff, way, way, way too far. And because of that, we have now a single-digit race even here in Blue, New Jersey. Think about that for a minute. All right, more coming up. It is 8:45. I want to talk to producer Kristen on the other side about her first day on the job here. You got to hear this story. 1-800-283-101.5 is my number. 8:45 is the time. That means traffic and weather's coming up in just 2 minutes.
Take control of your information flow. Download the New Jersey 101.5 app. Sign up for app alerts and get instant notifications on breaking news, weather emergencies, and traffic delays to stay connected to what matters to you most.
It's 8:52 on New Jersey 101.5. Good morning. I am Bill Spadea with you till 10 o'clock this morning. Talking Jersey, taking your calls, 1-800-283-101.5. All right, so I'm sure you're all wondering why I've gathered you here this morning. In the studio, producer Kristen and Jill Myra, New Jersey Traffic South. Here's the thing. Yesterday, Jill, before you say anything, Kristen, I just want to point out that I did not know what happened after producer Kristen's first day here. Did you know about this? I heard about this yesterday. So we've been working together 7 years, right? Yes. So I was on the air for 2 years before, right? Oh, and by the way,
long?
Yeah, it was Chris Swendeman who
Double
remember,
Down.
Did you know Double Down, right? Did you remember Chris?
Yes.
Did you train with it? No, because there were a couple of people in the interim.
He left. Well, there was a reason why I didn't train with him. Which I guess I could tell that story if you want, but
nothing's sacred here.
Wow, I don't remember that story either.
It has nothing to do with him.
Wait, real quick. Let me just say this: that he texted me this morning. The Mercer County Park this morning. The cops left for their Unity tour. He wanted me to just plug the 3 officers from the prosecutor's office: Lieutenant Ryan Muller, Detective Brian Migliorosi. I hope I said that right, Detective. And Detective Kayla Santiago from the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office heading to D.C. for the Unity Tour to stand up for fallen officers. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, so Jill, I find out that she had a rough first day.
Yeah, we all found this out. Like,
you didn't know this either.
This, I think yesterday.
I forgot.
Did you? Was that it? Was it purposeful? Or did you just shove it down? Like, that's it. We're not going to deal with this.
No, I kind of forgot. It has something to do with you, Bill. No, nothing personal. But yeah, I went home and I complained to my husband and I cried after my first day. And I'm not a crier. You know me.
You are not a crier.
I am not a crier. Yeah, I cried.
I heard this yesterday. I'm like, wait, you went home and cried after your first day?
He thought about this all day now, Kristen.
For 24 hours now, I've been thinking about this, and because I'm like, what did we do?
Well, you have to understand. I came from a different radio station in New York City, and I was all music. I had no idea what talk radio was. I didn't know the format that well.
The Town Square way. Let's just shove you right in. You'll figure it out.
Well, not to pat myself on the back, but maybe I will.
Why not?
I got asked to be a part of this show. I didn't seek it. So I said yes. And all of a sudden I'm here. It's my first day. And this guy is just like yelling and not at me. He's just like a loud.
Oh, wait, that's me. Is that me?
That would be you. Yes.
Not other randoms in the building.
And again, it's nothing personal. We have similar views. And, I come from a law enforcement family, which is why I agreed to it in the first place. But yeah, I was just like, who the heck is this guy yelling? And I was like, I don't know what's going on. And there's talk format and I like music. And I went home and I cried.
I kind of understand now. Joe, what do you think?
Here we are.
Well,
yeah, here we are 7 years later.
Yeah.
So let's say this.
Still make us cry.
And I'm still making people cry, right? But I think it shows if you cry after your first day of work, it's a good omen.
I've never done that before, Bill.
Only Bill would come up with that theory. Only Spadea would come
I'm
up
making
with
a deposit. Do you remember your first day here?
My first day here was in the old building.
Was I born?
Right?
Jill?
I don't think it was 92.
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
I was.
1992.
I don't remember my first day here.
You don't remember yesterday?
We weaned
No,
us.
I can't tell you what I did in the 8 o'clock hour.
Yeah, they had to wean us onto you. Like you were weaned.
It's like a fine scotch. You need to acquire a taste for it. I'm an acquired taste.
You can't just dive right into
Yeah, you really can't. So it wasn't one thing specific. It was just the chaos of this show.
And it was different. And I came in very confident because I'm confident in the work that I do. And I didn't know what to do. It was Meatloaf Day.
It was Meatloaf Day.
I totally
remember Meatloaf Day? That was it. Yeah, and my buddy Bob Bianchi, former prosecutor, made meatballs and called them meatloaf, and I still
Oh,
That I
we
remember.
disqualified him. Remember that? All right, it's 8:56. To be honest, I don't know what I'm going to talk about on the other side of the news. However, I have a sneaking suspicion that the hater ads are coming up soon. News is next with Eric Scott. 3 minutes.
Download the New Jersey 101.5 app. Sign up for alerts and receive instant notifications on breaking news, weather, and traffic. Staying connected to what matters most.
9:09 on New Jersey 101.5. I am Bill Spadea. I want to thank Parks Casino and Sportsbook for sponsoring New Jersey Chime Time every morning, every hour on the show. You know, I want to thank all our sponsors for their generosity, their confidence, their investment in this, the number one largest media audience in the state of New Jersey. So the return on investment is great. It's so good that I also want to thank my haters out there, the pro-Jack Chinarelli crowd, led by a bunch of has-beens and wannabes, out-of-state dark money pack, spending money to attack me. But guys, I want to thank you, because when you go from living rent-free in your head to being paid for occupying that space, awesome. So on behalf of the entire staff here at Town Square Media and New Jersey 101.5 and the morning show, we want to thank Kitchen Table Conservatives for recognizing that we are the strongest, most powerful station in the state, largest audience, and spending your money on our show to throw some shade on me. Thank you very much. Here's the funny thing. The ad's totally out of context. Producer Kristen, you pulled the one thing they accused me of comparing Donald Trump to Governor Murphy.
Yeah, they did.
And we found the clip that they used. If we could just cue that up, board up, Kathy.
But we're never going to get a handle on it until we elect a governor who's going to be honest with you. A governor that's going to go in and do in Trenton what Trump should have done in the White House. You know, people give Trump a lot of credit for going after the deep state. The reality is he didn't. He failed. And I've said this over and over again. Now, forget about your position on Donald Trump now, but he failed. He kept all these scumbags in office, and then they turned on him. And that's why we're seeing the mess we're seeing now. Now, listen to that. Did you hear, and Kristen, I know you heard that, where I said he failed. I paused for whatever reason, because I was in a natural conversation. I was actually addressing a caller.
Yes.
Right? There was somebody that called the show. And so there's a pause where I said he failed. They pulled the he failed and used that as if that was a standalone thing. I will tell you, the president himself would agree that he should have gotten rid of those guys before they turned on him and went after him. So that was actually me defending President Trump. So nice try, guys. I think you know what it is? They're not that skilled. So I think and I don't think they were smart enough to recognize that, as much as they've been tracking me now for, I don't know, a couple of years. Because that one quote was more than 2 years old. That was back in 2022.
2022.
Right?
Yes.
So, man, they had to dig deep to find something. And then to use it out. I do give them some credit.
That's yeah.
Who was the poor intern? Like, our intern gets to cook for us and come in, and we enjoy his great beef brisket.
Yeah.
The smoked brisket was fantastic today, wasn't it?
It was delicious.
Yeah, really good. Their interns have to scroll through my 80,000 tweets, my, 9 years on the air.
That's
Can
a
you
lot
imagine?
of Spadea.
Well, it's a lot of Spadea.
It's a lot of
It's too much even for me.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Sam, let's just call him Sam.
Sure.
The our
air quotes.
Air quotes, right? Our program director, the guy in charge. He asked me, and your face was funny in our meeting yesterday. He's like, "So do you go back and listen to the show?" Can you believe he asked me that? You were gonna laugh. I knew it. And I wanted to say only when I have to pull context to make sure that people know that the haters are out there lying. But look, guys, be happy, because it's paying the salary of our staff here. So we like that. That's good. Mm-hmm. So listen, let me just put this out. Do we have a special ad line if you want to advertise on the show? Do we have that?
Sure, we do.
Yeah, let's find that. But for right now, if you hate me and you're one of the guys out there that just wants to just vent and spew that hate and come after me, call 1-800-283-101.5. Intern Zach will get you in touch with our ad department because we are ready to take your ad money to spew the hate. So again, 1-800-283-101.5 if you would like to advertise how much you hate Bill Spadea on the Bill Spadea Show. Lines are open right now, taking your calls. All right, here's what we're going to do. Rich, you have a serious point that you want to make about police cars, et cetera. Before I get to you, because that seems like it's going to be a little bit of a longer conversation, let's just check in with my friend Phil Rizzo in Somerset County. Phil, what'd you think of the ad?
Well, it's mind-boggling, but, there's some inside baseball that makes this even funnier. After 2021, this is the only show that I could tell this story on because when I tell this story, it gets edited out in the media. After the 2021 primary, Jack and I sat on a couch for 3 hours, and I tried to tell him, I will help you win in November, but you got to help me help you. Let's craft the messaging because he told me he was pro-life. I said, then let me go get you pro-life. He said, I'm pro-Donald Trump. I said, then let me go get you the Trump voters. I said, let me go get you the people that criticize you. He said, no, Phil. He said, listen, I'm going after a different set of voters. You've got to give me liberty to say what I need to say down ballot. And let me just give the political, translation of what that says. When he says he needs to be able to say what he needs to say in any given room to protect down ballot, it means he's going to walk in one room and say he likes Donald Trump. He's going to walk into another room and he's going to say he hates Donald Trump. Same with life, same with guns, same with the border. It's just nonsense. And people need to know that Jack is one of the biggest snakes in New Jersey, and we have personal firsthand experience of it.
Yeah, it's a shame, Phil, because he does literally say one thing to one person. I mean, he was telling us that he was going to stand with the firefighters in Newark until he decided not to stand with the firefighters in Newark and then just ignore them and scream at our staff. And I mean, it really is sad. But again, Phil, if you're in touch with any of the haters out there, let them know to call 1-800-283-101.5. Talk to any of the producers and answer to get in touch with our sales department. And Jessica Schwartz, who heads that up, will be happy to schedule an ad run to spew some of their hate against me.
Absolutely. And just on a different note, when I get back from Columbia, Tennessee, where the F3 touched down last night, I have some wild videos and some stories to tell you.
Phil, will you share that? You guys are all safe, right?
We are. Everything is fine, but I posted some videos on Twitter. I mean, I drove right through the path of the tornado. About 5 minutes, maybe less.
Phil, would you send some of that video to send the tweet to producer Kristen? Because I'd like to take a look at that, and maybe we'll get a post up on the site so people can see what you went through. I've got to jump. I'm running late, but thank you, Phil. Appreciate you. Rich, I'll get to you on the other side. You want to talk about why police cars should all have defibrillators in them. You got a story about your dad. I want to hear it. 9:17, Fast Traffic Instant Weather next.
Feel like a winner today? Then you should sign up for contest alerts on our free New Jersey 101.5 app.
Bro.
$9:22 on New Jersey 101.5. I am Bill Spadea. So, Rich in Runnymede, you got a story about your dad, and you want to tell us why it should be mandatory that police cars have defibs in them. Rich, what's going on?
How you doing, Bill?
Good. How are you? So, interesting thought. I imagine most police cars do not have a defibrillator. I don't know. I thought the police officers do have them, but maybe it depends on the department. What happened with your dad?
It definitely does. This actually happened in Wayne, New Jersey, my old hometown.
Yeah, what happened?
So this was a long time ago, and I've been trying to do something with this, reach out to like certain news stations, and nobody ever got back to me, and it got put on. It just kept getting put off. And finally it's like, I've talked to you, Bill, a few times, and I'm like, when this morning when you said, oh, we don't know what to talk about yet. So I'm like, you know what, let me call and see if I get lucky. So again, I just want to thank you for taking my call. Now I'm going to get into it. So thank you again, Bill.
All right. You got about 2 minutes, so let's make it count.
Okay. All right. So July 19th, 2013, I was 20 at the time. I was away in Minnesota at school for what I do for work. And my dad was outside doing yard work, and I actually was running a landscaping business at that time. And my two friends who were helping me, he was overseeing them. And he was outside. It was hot. And I guess he was dehydrated and didn't know it. And he went to step inside to cool off. And according to what the doctor said, from going to the extreme hot to the extreme cold and him being a little dehydrated and not knowing it, he collapsed. His heart stopped.
Wow. Scary.
My one friend who was with him knew CPR, tried to revive him and couldn't. They called 911 right away. Within 3 minutes, the police car arrived. The ambulance didn't arrive yet. Showed up, had no defibrillator in it. So then the cop car, whoever the policeman was, called, radioed in for another police car to come with the defibrillator. So they had to wait almost 4 extra minutes. And the ambulance still wasn't there. So my father was without oxygen to his brain for almost 8 minutes, where if that cop car had a defibrillator, it would have only been 3.
What happened to your dad, though? Did you make a full recovery?
When my dad came to, he was a vegetable. He was basically borderline brain dead. He could look at you, but he couldn't function. And he stayed that way for 10 years. And last June, he passed away in that state.
I'm sorry.
Couldn't talk. No, I appreciate that. But I just wanted to use this story and get it out there to somebody and say, why isn't it mandatory that all police cars have defibs in them so we could prevent something like this in the future?
You remember, now you got to train your officers to use it. I mean, there's a cost. I imagine that's it. But let me throw that out and ask our police officers, our law enforcement community, do you agree with what Rich is saying? I mean, if you could save a life, would you want the power to be able to do that? And, and as we've said often, it's almost always police officers who are on those scenes first, ahead of rescue. So,
I've had a couple other situations, Bill, have happened where things have happened to people, and now you see defibrillators popping up in places we never thought.
Well, they're mandatory in schools now. We have them in offices. I mean, I think it's an interesting thought. I don't know what the cost would be. I don't know if that would be a burden that would have to be taken up by a local department. Is there an additional level of training? Is there an additional level of liability? I don't know the answers to those questions. But, Rich, I'm glad you brought it up. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you to stay on hold, and intern Zach is going to get all your information, and we'll be able to be in touch with whatever follow-up comes from our Common Sense team. Good?
I appreciate it, and I appreciate you taking my call. Thank you.
Absolutely, Rich. Hang on 1 second. We're going to get you in touch. All right, Chris, I'll go to you first on the other side, but right now it's 9:27 news with Eric Scott, 3 minutes away.
Hi.
9:38 on New Jersey 101.5. Good morning. I am Bill Spadea. Hey, if you missed my conversation with Congressman Jason Smith, who is the head of the powerful Ways and Means Committee in the House of Representatives, also one of President Trump's strongest allies, had a great take on President's visit to New Jersey on Saturday, coming up this Saturday, and just how competitive a state like New Jersey is now because of how far the Democrats have gone. And just a quick shout out to my haters, kitchen table conservatives and in the Jack Chitterelli orbit. Guys, what you ought to be doing is spending your resources on promoting the Trump rally and maybe spend some of that money on getting buses for people that will have trouble parking and getting there. Like, do something positive. Now listen, I'll take your money. You guys want to keep running these ads, I'm happy to take your money. I think it's fantastic that I went from living rent-free in your heads to now you paying me to live in your head. That's really cool. So thank you on behalf of my entire staff that you helped offset some of our salary costs. Thank you very much. I will say your ad is a little bit stretchy with the truth, taking my comments wildly out of context. But hey, that's politics, right? Let's start with Chris. What's going on, Chris? Hey, Chris, where are you right now?
I'm in Huntington County.
Nice. What do you want to say, Chris?
Well, I want to say I agree. I don't think it's nice that Jack Ciccarelli and his campaign team are taking what you stated out of context. You did not say that President Trump as a whole failed.
Right.
You were speaking about three specific things, which I do agree with you on. I read the article, so that's completely false what they're doing. They're misleading the public.
Yep.
It's not right. You listen, I support you because you support small businesses. You don't want DEI or children being sexualized in the school. You don't want mask or vaccine mandates. You're pragmatic in your approach. And I go with Mayor Koch, the former Mayor Koch's quote, if you agree with me on 9 out of 12 issues, then vote for me. If you agree with me on 12 out of 12, see a psychiatrist.
I love that.
I never agree with everyone on everything. But
No, of course not. That was the joke we made last night. Jody and I were at an event. Maybe it was 2 nights ago. I don't know. The days kind of blend. And I said, look, we don't agree on everything. We have time to have conversations and kind of learn a different perspective. And, Christopher, I believe that President Trump agrees with the points that I made about things that should have been done during his administration that came back to bite him, like not firing a lot of these deep state scumbags that ended up turning on him. So, you know what? We'll ask him tonight. I'm going to talk to him tonight. And we are going to record that conversation to air tomorrow at 6:38 and again at 8:38. So stay tuned for that, Christopher, because we're gonna go right to the source, the President of the United States, the 45th president, who I hope and expect to be the 47th president, and his first stop in New Jersey, as it was the last time he did this rally, is at New Jersey 101.5, specifically on the morning show to talk to us because he values this audience. Christopher, nice to talk to you. Thank you for that plug. And I agree. The article that I wrote, I mean, let's face it, the article got clicks because the word failure was in it. But the reality was it was a very specific conversation on policy points. And let me tell you something. If you're a Trump supporter, as I am and have been since the primary in 2016, we owe it to ourselves and this country to question policies, have a discussion, have a debate. President Trump did not become this incredible success story. I mean, let's face it, if Trump were a Democrat and pushing left-wing policies, he'd be one of the great success stories in the history of the country, not having held office and surging all the way to the Oval Office. I mean, think about the incredible tale, a billionaire guy that was able to create incredible successes in New York City real estate and do things beyond what most people were able to accomplish. This is an incredible man with an incredible story, but he didn't get there by just having people tell him yes every step of the way. He got there because of some vigorous debate, vigorous discussion, exploring the depth of these issues. The sad thing about these Jack Ciccarelli cohorts, all these has-beens and wannabes on this out-of-state dark money PAC kitchen table conservatives, is that they think that Trump voters aren't smart enough to understand the nuances. And guys, you should know this audience is one of the best and sharpest in the country, not just the largest in New Jersey by far, but you hear the conversations every day. Our audience has an interaction with me, and we talk about issues. We go deeper than just, oh, I love Trump or I don't love Trump. Obviously, you got to get a little deeper. And what they're really afraid of, guys, they're not afraid of me. They're afraid of you. They're afraid of more than 1 million people rising up as Democrats, independents, and Republicans saying we're tired of the politics as usual. We're tired of the liars and the frauds and the fakers and the posers and Republicans like Ciccarelli who support licenses for illegals, who supported Murphy's mandates on vaccines and lockdowns and masks. And now he comes out and he throws Trump an endorsement after Donald Trump is the last candidate standing. You had time to do that in 2020 and 2016, but instead, Jack chose not even to vote for President Trump. So you've got a lot of hypocrisy going on. And as far as the has-beens who are running this PAC, we all know who you are. And honestly, none of you are that smart, which is evidenced by the poor quality of the ad you ran. Now, again, I'm happy to help you if you'd like some advice, if you'd like any the nuances. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in media a long time. Happy to help you, and obviously happy to take your money. Larry in Bucks County, you got about 40 seconds, Larry. What's going on?
Oh, you only gave me 40 seconds, Bill. It's Larry Steinhaus.
Larry Steinhaus. You get 30. No, I'm kidding. How you doing, brother?
Hey, I just had a call because I heard that commercial and I thought that was absolutely hysterical. I mean,
right.
I've known you as a friend now for years, and to say that you're not a Trump Republican is like, I don't know.
It's silly, right?
It's like saying AOC doesn't like Biden. I don't know. So I just had to call you and defend you. But all I know is, my commercial is running your show, right? So I want to do a commercial now that says, come to Investor Schooling because this way, I don't know, something about Bill Spadea will like Trump more.
Right? And get schooled at Investor Schooling. Give me your website. Let's give you a plug real quick. Go ahead.
InvestorSchooling.com. InvestorSchooling.com.
Yeah, it's
but the
good
reason
stuff.
I'm saying that is because you're talking about this guy all the time. Talk about me for the last half an hour.
You know what, Larry? I am always happy to give you a plug. Larry Steinhaus, InvestorSchooling.com. Thank you, brother. We'll talk soon. You take care. All right. Yes, advertisers, you're all welcome to join the show and join the conversation. 1-800-283-101.5 is the number. 9:45 is the time. Traffic and weather next in 2 minutes.
Your daily dose of New Jersey on the go. Download the New Jersey 101.5 app. Enroll in alerts and dig into local stories, news, weather, and more. Your connection to everything Jersey.
9:53 on New Jersey 101.5. I am Bill Spadea. Listen, guys, got to get out of here. Couple things you need to know. I'll be speaking with our 45th president this evening, and we're going to do an interview that I'm going to record for the show tomorrow. President Trump knows that you're going to come in and make New Jersey competitive. One of the first stops is New Jersey 101.5. And as you heard the president say last time he called the show, he listens once in a while when he's in Bedminster and they're traveling between the airport. So it is an honor to count President Trump among our many listeners, largest audience in the state. I want to thank all of our advertisers sincerely for spending your hard-earned money and investing in reaching out to this great, great audience. And as far as the haters, you know what? Haters are going to do what they're going to do. But as far as the specific pro-Jack Chitterelli, this kitchen table conservatives, dark money pack from Virginia, we are happy that I've gone from living rent-free in your head to you paying us. Our staff thanks you. And on behalf of Town Square Media and New Jersey 101.5, we all thank you very much. And if you'd like to extend that advertising, get in touch with our sales department. They will be more than happy to extend. Tomorrow, you'll hear my interview with President Trump. All week, you've heard from senior officials that served in the Trump White House and have the ear of the president, including Congressman Jason Smith, including Jason Miller, who is the president's top campaign senior staffer, and of course, Ambassador Rick Grinnell, who was on yesterday. All of those interviews in their full form are available at my website, nj1015.com/Bill Spadea. I am proud and happy to be your super spreader of truth. What you're not going to find from me is taking stuff out of context and trying to sell it as something real. So you'll get straight talk from me as you have for the past 9 years on these airwaves. And I do feel sorry for the intern that Jack's team has going through every single thing I've said for 9 years. Man, that guy needs a raise. All right, guys, got to get out of here. Have a outstanding rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow at 6.
play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working, that's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Now that ain't working, that's the way you do it. Let me tell you, damn guys ain't done. Maybe get a blister on your little finger. Maybe get a blister on your thumb. We got to install microwave ovens, custom kitchen deliveries. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs.
Thanks for listening to the Bill Spadea Show on demand. Don't forget to check out the latest online from Bill Spadea on our free app or NJ1015.com.
New Jersey 101.5.